Hello there. Welcome back to Grandma Ray Don't Play, and I'm Rachel. So I'm back with part 2 on, and this subject is the answers you could learn from others' advice. The answers you can learn from listening to others' advice. Okay? Okay, so I have some notes. You don't have to repeat mistakes others already made. So let me give you, for instance, in that situation. So let's say someone advised you, if you're going to buy a house, to buy a house that has some equity already there. In other words, the price of the house is going to be less than the value of the house. That's how you get equity. And so if you already have equity in the house, when you close, right away you have a cushion that will help you if you ever need to refinance or you need to put a roof on or something like that. So that's like money in the bank just sitting there that you could tap into. But if you buy that house for the current price of what it's going for today, then you have no equity, and now it takes years to build this equity up. So that would be some good advice. If you could buy a house that already have some equity, in other words, let's say if the house, the average house around that way is going for $300,000, but you can buy this house for $260,000. Well, when you close, you'll have $40,000 to the goods that you could use later. That's called equity. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say I gave you an example so that you'll know some good advice versus some bad advice. But if you didn't seek out the advice, maybe you wouldn't have heard that you should buy the house for less than it's valued. Okay, so that's an example. What you might learn from others could be a life-saving, some life-saving advice that you can use for the future, and you can build upon that. Okay, so it's good to sometimes seek out answers, okay? Because we don't know it all. We don't know it all. You might learn it costs nothing to listen. Oh, now that's a big one. That's a big one. You know, even if I listen to your advice, I may not take your advice. I may take part of your advice, or I may take all of your advice. But at least if I listen, I could have options, right? Versus if you don't listen to any advice, you have no options. The only thoughts in your head is what's in your head. And that may work for you and it may not work for you. But I always like to get advice because at the end of the day, how could it hurt? Okay? I'm going to make the final decision. So it can't hurt. Okay? You could save a lot of life's precious time by getting advice, okay? Time is money. That's very important. You could also save lots of money. Money that you don't have to waste, okay? So again, let's go back to the example I just gave you. You know, by buying the house under what it's put on the market for, and you end up having equity from buying it for less than what the market is selling it for, then you now have money, and you're saving money instead of wasting money. Okay? By taking advice, sometimes it allows you to have better choices, options, okay? You could learn something from the advisor. Maybe you'll learn that the advisor told you something that you didn't think about. Maybe it gave you food for thought. If it didn't do nothing else but make you think, that is great, because at least now you're thinking and you're turning your wheels so that you can figure out how to get through life, right? You know, when I was growing up, the only people that I knew that had advice was older people. So I asked those questions because, you know, they had the answers, okay? And I'm not saying that just older people have advice. There's lots of people that have advice. But when I was growing up, those are the people that I knew that had the advice, okay? You can pass the advice, advice you get down generation after generation, so that your kids can benefit from what you know, and then their kids can benefit from what you told your kids, okay? You could be a better woman or man just from taking advice. How about that, huh? If that'll make you a better woman or man, why not? Okay? Okay, so let's see now. Listen to the advisor. Think your way through for the best results for you. I'm not saying to take their advice 100%. If that works for you, okay. If a portion of that works, okay. You are the judge and you are the final say-so in the advice, okay? When you rush into things, you sometimes realize maybe you should have talked to someone before you took action. You know, sometimes we do things like based on our emotions. You know, maybe your emotion says today that you should go to Walmart and charge up on your charge card when you know you can't afford to pay that down this month, because now it's just going to add on to the balance you already have. So whatever you got at Walmart, it's the interest rate on top of that. And so now you've just really doubled up on the price of things that you thought you was getting a good deal on, okay? Again, not thinking things through, okay? Just because you listen to advice don't mean you have to move on it. It's just food for thought, okay? Okay, so in my conclusion about you taking advice, you know, we're going through hard times right now. A lot of us are still out of work. A lot of us are struggling right now due to the epidemic that has plagued this nation. And, you know, at this point in time, you might need to run some stuff by somebody. You might need to clear your head. You might need to bounce some things off of someone so that you can not go crazy, because right now there are people that are being evicted. There are people who are struggling. You know, that extra $600 went bye-bye from unemployment. You know, people are really, really on hard times right now. So sometimes you can talk to someone and they may say, well, you know, I cut this bill out, or I cut that bill out, or I went over there, they're hiring over there, or something like that. Anything that can help you to clear your head, to make correct decisions, okay? So that is my part 2 on answers on getting advice. And I want to thank you for supporting me in every way. I'd like you to give it a thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe, please. Okay? You can go ahead and give it a thumbs up now and subscribe, and check out my links below to see if you would like to support this channel in any way. And until next time, God bless. Thank you.